everybody, what's up and welcome back to the channel with more Blood and Plunder for you. Today we're taking a look at the first of the two Caribbean and South American tribes lists here, specifically the Caribbean tribes list. Now this one covers roughly 1630 to 1737, so a little over 100 years. As with all the native factions, we have to abide by a couple of actual rules that come first, and that is, as always, no size 2 or larger ships. If we are the attacker in a scenario, half of our units rounding down follow the lay-in-wait. We can deploy half the units rounding down following the lay-in-wait scenario rule. Any ships in the force do get the paddle straight for free, and there is no artillery available to us. So now let's jump into the Caribbean tribes. A couple more special rules. Bow-armed units in this force may add the poisoned arrows equipment to the entire unit for 3 points, so not per model, but just 3 points per the unit. And all units in the force gain the skirmishers, sound of thunder, and rain of arrows special rules. So, and then unlike the last two lists here, there's no sort of mandatory upgrades forced on us or swapping or anything like that. So we get what we get here. Now, the core units also, unlike the last two lists, we have at least a selection here: young warriors, warrior archers, and warriors. And then supporting, we can have warrior musketeers and African warriors unaligned. So command options: any Southern Tribes commander or King Oldman, special character. And then at the army scale, we have French Caribbean militia, English Caribbean militia, or Spanish militia. So basically, pick your flavor of militia there. So here, unlike again the others where we had warriors and young warriors in the last two lists, and then we had to do some mandatory upgrades and swapping, here we have anybody with the bows essentially being able to add poisoned arrows upgrade, but then also again getting skirmishers on everybody basically, and then rain of arrows. And let's take a look then at some of these units really briefly, just to show what that will look like. Alrighty guys, so we basically get full access to all of the native units, so the young warriors, warrior archers, warrior musketeers, and warriors. Now the young warriors and warrior archers already come with bows, so that's pretty obvious stuff there. Well worth adding the poison rule to that, and basically the poison rule just forces the opponent to reroll a successful fatigue die, so pretty neat stuff there. But more importantly, the rain of arrows special rule, basically we can take 2 actions, and when we're making our shooting attack, so rather than do 2 separate shooting actions, we spend 2 actions to make one. Essentially we get reroll misses on that. So it's debatable. What I guess you'd have to run some of the math on that. Sometimes it could be cooler just to have that second round of shooting, but being able just to have land a very accurate volley with one is pretty neat too. And then with skirmishers, basically if we're activating off of spades and hearts, we can kind of get that free movement back. So then that helps us, without having to spend command points, essentially pop out, get some shots, maybe take that one shot if we have it, or if we're lucky enough, maybe spend that dedicated, or those 2 actions essentially, to get the rain of arrows off, and then maybe bounce back after a turn, or in that same turn as well. So there's a couple different variables there. The young warriors and the warrior archers can also scrap it up a little bit in melee. We've seen that with some of the other lists. The warrior archers certainly have that better shoot value. And again, the whole list comes chock with, or all the units really come chock full of special rules as well. So between, like quick, hidden, scouts on most of them, evade as well. The young warriors can support other units. The musketeers as well. So here we can give them basically veteran status if we want to. The pistols as sidearms. They do have the slow reload, but again, evade, hidden, and scouts and skirmishers and everything going on as well. They don't have any access to bows. Now, if we wanted to, though, we could spend points and upgrade the warriors to also have bow access. Not going to be their bread and butter. Ideally, if we can deliver these into combat. Unlike the previous 2 lists, they don't have to ditch the heavy weapons for this one, so being able to get these guys into combat, hopefully with enough of an advantage versus some of the other units, is going to be quite a deadly payload for these guys. And with all the poison arrow access and everything else, hopefully we have enough shooting to where we can deliver these guys and let them wreck the opponent. So all in all, a pretty potent list. If we go back to the descriptor here, so having all of that available, the poison arrows will obviously be more useful in larger units since you're going to get more value out of those 3 points versus just spending it on like a minimum size unit and making that more expensive. Might be better just to have that extra guy. But really, really good stuff overall for the list here. So let us know, guys, if you have run Caribbean Tribes, if you've gone all out on poison, and which sort of combination of units have you really employed for that. Certainly you can stick with all the core units and do very well, and have some very solid results with that. But let us know how you've fared, what units or what lists you've gone against that have been successful, which ones maybe not so much. Something we're eager to try out too with our list here. Definitely seems like a fun one, especially just spamming poison arrows if possible, and making good use of all the special rules that we get on top of everything else. Be sure to comment, guys, like, and subscribe. We'll have more of the native factions coming up for you very soon. Thanks for watching.